Welcome. I'm Selene Kumin Vega with Saybrook University for our Mindful Moments, which we do every Monday and Friday live. And recordings are available for everyone. Today, we're going to spend some time calming the nervous system. And what I am working with as a way of thinking about that is the polyvagal theory, which was developed by Stephen Porges, and one of the people who's done a lot of work with finding ways to apply that to ourselves, to actually work with what we know about the nervous system and how it works, is Deb Dana. And so I'm going to be working with some of her ideas here about how we can work with one part of the nervous system, the ventral vagal. But just to give you some context here, there are three main ways that our system responds to what's around us, and particularly to danger. And one of them, the oldest system in us, is the one that's called the dorsal vagal system, and that brings us down into immobilization. That's the one that leaves animals looking like they're playing dead. And for us human beings, it can lead to a real shutdown, sense of not being able to move, just freezing. Like, nope, can't do anything. It can be a pretty uncomfortable place to be when the parasympathetic dorsal vagal system is flaring up and taking over as an adaptive response to try to help us through a threat. And then there's the sympathetic nervous system, the one that gets us up and going for fight or flight. We're mobilized. We've got to get out or do something, and the whole system gets flooded with all of the hormones and everything that would help us to do that. And again, this is an adaptive response. It's important to be able to do that, but sometimes we get stuck in that state when the threats we are thinking that we perceive are not ones that fighting or fleeing are going to help us with. The one that we're going to focus on today is the ventral vagal system. And that one is the one that, when we feel safe, when we're open to social engagement and play, curiosity, uh, there's ways of feeling like our heart is open, gently energized. That's the ventral vagal system, and that is the one that we are going to work with here because we're not stuck where our nervous system automatically takes us. We can have an impact and bring ourselves back into that ventral vagal state that is calmer and more able to deal with whatever might be out there, whether there is a threat or not. So take a moment here to just check in with yourself and where you are. This is where we are picking up the cues from our environment to see how safe do we feel in this moment, in the environment that you are in right now. Just looking around, see what's there in your immediate environment and noticing how safe you feel in this moment here. And perhaps you can remind yourself, if it is really actually looking safe, that it's okay to relax into that feeling of, I'm safe here. And in this moment, we can begin to calm the system by just tuning into what's happening in the body, noticing how the breath is, maybe slowing it down a little bit, maybe seeing what would feel good to your body right now, maybe a stretch, a yawn. Maybe a wiggle or a shake or a shift. finding what helps you to calm your nervous system in the moment, to remind yourself that it is safe right now. Another way that we can begin to activate that system to calm things down is to look for what anchors we have in our own lives, the things that remind us that we do know how to feel safe and calm and comfortable. And we're going to take a look at the who, what, where, and when that are there for us in our memories, in our imagination, that are calming to us. You can have your eyes open or closed or self-focus here. Whatever helps you to focus inwards a little bit here. You just reflect on your life, and the people and beings in your life who really bring you a feeling of safety. The ones who, when you're with them, you feel like, oh, it's okay. In this moment, it's okay because I'm with this other being. Maybe it's a person who you really do trust, who knows you, cares about you. Maybe it's an animal companion, cat, or a dog, or a rabbit, or I don't know who your animal companions might be, who, when you're with them, and when you're imagining those times that you're with them, you just find it a little easier to breathe deeply. Maybe these are people or beings who aren't even with us in their bodies anymore, who are no longer alive on earth, and yet in that memory, in that thought of how it is to be with them, your system can calm down, can quiet down. And then we can go to the what. What are the things that you do to bring your ventral state alive, to help you feel just gently energized, ready, curious? With simple, small actions that feel nourishing. Maybe it's sitting and drinking a cup of tea or coffee, water. Maybe it's looking around for a moment in the midst of a day of work. Maybe it's something simple like a little habit that you have in your life that is just reassuring whenever you do it. What are the things that you do that give you moments, even micro moments, of ventral vagal regulation, calming your nervous system? And then there's the where. Where are the places that you go or find yourself that bring you cues of safety? Things that let you know you're safe here. You're okay. Just looking around your home, the places in your home, maybe around your home outside, your neighborhood, your community, maybe even somewhere in your workspace. maybe a place where you go for spiritual connection, maybe a place you've only been once, but whenever you remember that, you have that sense of, can breathe a little more deeply, comfortably, calming your system down. And remembering the times times that you have felt anchored, maybe a specific event that happened. And in that moment, it felt safe. Maybe you even noticed at the time how comfortable you felt, how your body calmed down and relaxed. And these are all anchors for you. These are people, beings, places, experiences, times that can help you when you bring them to mind. They can help you to come back to that state. At times when things have aggravated, activated the other parts of the system that can be sometimes overwhelming. There's ways to come back to yourself, to home inside yourself. You might want to even write some of those down. Find pictures that remind you to have around at times when you could use a little bit of an external cue to help you come back. And just taking a moment here to feel into how you can have that effect on your own nervous system by bringing to mind the people you are connected to in a safe way, the places, the times, the actions. And I have a poem from Thich Nhat Hanh that really spoke to me of this. Our true home is in the present moment. To live in the present moment is a miracle. The miracle is not to walk on water. The miracle is to walk on the green earth in the present moment, to appreciate the peace and the beauty that's available right now. Peace is all around us, in the world, in nature, and within us, in our bodies, our spirits. And once we learn to touch that peace, we will be healed and transformed. It's not a matter of faith, it's a matter of practice. I hope you can practice some of these ways of bringing yourself back to this moment, even including some of the thoughts and memories of the places and things and people and beings that bring you to peace. And now, as we come to an end of our time, letting your eyes open or refocus if they've been closed, just acknowledging this state that you're in right now. And that if you're with others, as we are here today, that we may all be in that meditative state. And just choosing not to speak or speaking from our experience, and not in a way that would take anyone out of that meditative state, that ventral vagal state. Maybe we can remain a while longer with that sense of presence, to our own and others' experience. Thank you for joining me today.